Hi.
Hi, Steve. How are you?
Good, Courtney. How are you?
Good. Good.
So maybe we should reflect a little on how things have been going for the last 4 months. It's been a busy 4 months.
I was going to say it's been a long road.
It sure has. It's been a lot of fun though too. Um, yeah, and we started this all in August with the network team training, the Institute, 5 days, where we learned about the APPR for teachers and the data-driven instruction model, and also
The
Common Core for ELA and Math. And we have some training coming up next week.
Yeah, we've got actually the same 3 assurance areas coming right back up, November and December.
Excellent. So when you reflect back, what would be some of the successes that you saw over the past 3 months that you feel pretty good about as a network team?
Right. I think one of our strengths was that we had 5 great people attending those trainings and have brainstormed around those 3 areas and really said who are our target audiences in our region. So we've reached superintendents, we've reached principals, we've reached the teacher audiences, and continue to think about the stakeholders as we develop our trainings.
Sure. Yeah, the work of Janie Cornell, Dr. Cornell, Anthony Muller, and Dr. Catapano have really rounded out our team. And I also think that our Race to the Top steering committee has been very helpful in kind of directing and guiding our efforts.
Yeah.
You know, I love the website you developed. You want to talk a little bit about that? Because that to me is one of our big successes.
Well, we, as a team and as the network team, really wanted communication to be flowing, two-way communication at least with stakeholders, a place for them to gain information as well as submit best practices. So with that in mind, we developed the website. It's got some general information about Race to the Top and the deliverables that we're looking at this year. And then from there, we really dug in and provided the details to people on the 3 areas. So there's a Common Core subpage, the data-driven subpage, and APPR subpage.
What I like also is, we've taken a lot of information from Engage New York, from the New York State Ed Race to the Top link, and other resources, and kind of distilled the most important aspects, and of course also uploaded all the presentations and supplementals to that site.
Exactly. Feedback from the field has been great, asking for the resources that were shown during workshops or trainings and having that available to them so that they can then turn around and use it within their school districts and with their folks back in the buildings.
You know, I really like the best practices link that's on there now, and we've got a few follows on there, but as we roll things out and as schools continue to grow in their capacity to do the different pieces of these 3 deliverable areas, it's going to be nice to see the products that teachers and administrators share through this best practices repository on the site.
Absolutely, and having the comfort and the trust within our region to share those practices is huge. I know we developed another forum for sharing best practices and conversation around that, which is the LinkedIn group.
Yes, well, let me talk about LinkedIn. LinkedIn, as you know, as I tell people, it's like Facebook without the pictures. Family photos, which is often good. What I really appreciate is the fact that our membership is growing, and it's a different way. It's a social media sort of way of communicating with one another. It's an opportunity for members to post and share ideas and respond to one another's ideas. In particular, the group, the WSWHE BOCES Race to the Top group. I think our membership is almost at 30 now, and in that site we have weekly announcements. And then again, we share unique links and ideas. The Met Effective Teaching Project, a link is up there. The Danielson Praxis paper is there. Changing the Odds, Brian Goodwin of McCrell, many other resources. So we always encourage people to become our friends on our LinkedIn account, join our group, and utilize the technology. So we're working hard to communicate what we're doing. I'm also reflecting on some of the successes we've had with our trainings. First of all, we work in a great area. I couldn't think of a better region to work in. The administrators and the educators are very proactive, and that shows in the school report cards. And with all that, the challenges that schools are dealing with, it's so encouraging to have people come and be positive and be interested in learning more to help their children, their schools succeed through these different reform initiatives. And I guess, the 3 deliverables, we've done the Common Core trainings, and we've had some really great experts come in for those. We've done the data-driven instruction trainings, and certainly the APPR trainings. But, you know, I guess the one that holds the greatest promise, in my opinion, is the data-driven instruction piece. You know? But then I think to myself, but there are challenges. I mean, what are some of the challenges that you're seeing as we continue our important work?
I think that in all of our workshops, there's always been an opportunity for people to be actively engaged, reflecting on where they are, and trying to move forward, whether it be a single step or multiple steps. If, we've got a very diverse region and people are at different points of readiness, especially in terms of DDI. And so I think we've said within our trainings, be forgiving of yourself and of others, and I think that's important as we move forward.
There's another one I got to add. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good, right?
Yeah.
Which is what we heard from Esteta, which is another.
That's our mantra through all of this.
Exactly.
And I think that's important for people to remember is that you have to be okay with where you are, but it's not okay to stay there, and to just continually look for resources. How do you take that one step forward? What is the next step for the district and for the folks? And how do we as a network team help support that along the way?
Exactly.
It's important.
Yeah, I think also, you know, change, we know the change process. I mean, it's been researched by psychologists, by leaders, and it's very clear there are different stages to change. And certainly some of the webcasts that we've posted, as well as some of the other materials, kind of get at the nature of complex change, and helping people recognize them helps them move forward, helps them develop that efficacy that we also speak about, which, you know, it's about developing your mastery and being more confident in your leadership through that sustained professional development and positive feedback as well.
I was going to say part of that was the vicarious learning, and I think that speaks to how strong the best practices in our LinkedIn group could become as a resource, because you're learning through the models of other people and their steps along the way. You're building off of what's already out there.
Sure, definitely. So going forward, we've got some trainings, right? We've got a busy November and December, don't we?
We do. We have some makeup trainings from the summer session for people who would be conducting teacher evaluations. So if they weren't able to attend the summer, they can now have that training under their belt. Also, a makeup session for any school-based inquiry team members who may not have been able to attend the October trainings. We'll be revisiting that later in November, and helping build the capacity within your schools and districts.
And then we have some new trainings. We have you and I both being Understanding by Design trainers. We're going to offer some UBD sessions for our teachers and administrators, both at GIC and at our Queensbury site. And then we're also doing the principal APPR evaluation training for district central office, that'll be superintendents and their assistants, and then a training for the principals as well, so they understand the rubrics and understand the different approaches and models as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and you had mentioned earlier we're headed towards more state training in November and December, so we'll continually look at ways to turn that around and make it practical for people in the field.
Yeah. One more thing I just thought of is I'm excited about the work we're doing with the National Board of Certified Teachers.
Yes, yeah.
Annette Romano, Carol Foreman-Pemberton from the Greater Capital Region Teacher Center, Rita Floss, Colleen McDonald, Maura Fox, and others are joining with us to set up a series of sessions later this year for teachers to learn how to describe, analyze, and reflect on their instruction ultimately, and to better understand the rubrics. I mean, regardless of the rubric that one adopts for teacher evaluation,
right,
we have the 7 teaching standards, and if we can describe and analyze instruction and then our own instruction, we're going to grow as educators, and that's going to be good for student learning. And when it comes right down to it, our children deserve the very best learning environments possible. So thanks to the NBCTs, the National Board of Certified Teachers in our area, I feel like we're going to really make some good headway in that area as well.
Absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. And the research that you always refer back to is that classroom instruction is the #1 impact on students, and then school leadership is second. So
it's out there, isn't it?
That's our work.
Yeah, whether it's the Wallace Foundation reports or the work by McCrell or the individual researchers, it's very clear that leadership matters, and leadership at all levels, which is why we also have to distribute the leadership. As we say in our sessions also, none of this is going to happen without teacher leadership, and that's imperative. Well, any final thoughts?
I'm looking forward to continuing our work. It's been great so far,
Yeah.
and the support and the work within the region really makes it worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree. Excellent. Nice job. Thank you.